Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back for some more Devil May Cry 4. This is mission 7 of Lady and Trish's campaign, and this is probably my favorite area in the game. I don't know why. It's just, it looks cool. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't remember a whole lot of jungle in previous Devil May Cry games. Plus, it's got the right kind of mix of enemies, and there's no angels. Fucking angels. And the boss is kind of fun. So all in all, it's got the right balance, I think. I mean, everybody's opinion is different. But since this is a Capcom game, I think we should talk about Capcom a little bit in this video. First and foremost, there was an article that popped up, it might have been a few weeks ago now, I can't remember. But I remember seeing an article, there was an interview with some people from Sega. And Sega basically said that they understand that they kind of screwed fans. I'm paraphrasing, but they basically said that they kind of abused the trust of the fans and kind of took advantage of it and took it for granted, and now they're going to try to make up for that. And I think Capcom needs to really sit down and evaluate what they've been doing, because a trend I noticed with Japanese companies, not all Japanese companies, but mainly like some like Japanese video game companies, because like Sony's done it, Sega's done it, to a lesser extent, Capcom's done it, but they kind of just basically lost their way, I think. Nintendo's done it, Square Enix, a few other ones, but like they reach a point where they don't want to listen to what the people who have put them where they are want, that being the customers. They tell you, no, this is what you want, you just don't know it yet. And I don't know if that's really a fair criticism to level at Capcom. I think they're just kind of dumb about the decisions they make. They know what the fans want, but they know what the people, but they know what's popular, so they try to cater to both crowds, and it doesn't work. It doesn't have the results that they want. Like Resident Evil 6 is a good example of that. And I liked Resident Evil 6. Yes, I recognize that it has its flaws, but for the most part, I had fun with the game. It's a little stupid in parts, and the story is. It actually, really, I think Capcom, first and foremost, they need to hire people that can write a fucking story. Because Resident Evil 5 and 6, the story was like just complete trash. And even Devil May Cry 4, I mean, the story's kind of like just... It sucks. I mean, there's promise, there's promise in Resident Evil 5, there's promise in Resident Evil 6, there's promise in Devil May Cry 4. But none of that stuff's never realized. The most interesting thing they had in Devil May Cry 4 was the Nero character, and they did absolutely nothing with him. You know, if they would have fleshed the story out more, explain where he came from, why does he have this connection to Sparta, then you, oh man, the weird-ass fan theories. But, that's definitely the first thing they need to do. They need to hire some writers. Gameplay mechanics, I would say that's the one thing they got down pretty good. For as kind of disconnected the story is and how big of a mess it is in this game, the gameplay is solid. The combat, the platforming can be a little meh, and the level design's a little meh at times too, but I would say the core function of a Devil May Cry game is the combat, and man, outside of 3, I think this one probably has the most solid combat. And then Resident Evil 6, well, Resident Evil in general, they need to get rid of the QuickTime events, first and foremost. There's just way too many. And I think, hopefully, I'm kind of starting to think that these and I've said this before in the past, I think what Capcom is doing with the Resident Evil series now is with the Revelations games, it's kind of like a budget development title. They throw those out there. They kind of have a little bit more of a... Now, Revelations 2 had a little bit more action than the first Revelations, but I feel like those games are being used to test the waters. And then this HD re-release of Resident Evil, well, the it's a HD re-release of the HD remake, or whatever, of the first game. And then next year they're releasing an HD remaster of Resident Evil 0. I feel like those are ways for Capcom to test the waters to see what sells. And I think the fact that this... Oh, this isn't going to end. Nope, it didn't end well. Not at all. Alright. Anyways. The remaster, the Resident Evil remake sold so well. I mean, I don't know if it still is, but for a while there it was the top-selling release on the PSN. And it sold gangbusters. People loved that game. And I think due to the popularity of that, you're probably going to see more survival horror in like Resident Evil 7, if that's what it's called. Also, this whole Devil May Cry thing, I think it's a way of Capcom testing the waters. What's the interest in continuing on with the story from Devil May Cry 4 by putting out this HD remaster, this special edition remaster? What's the interest in the Ninja Theory game by putting out the remaster of it with the gameplay improvements that should have been in the original release? It's very cheap and easy ways to gauge public interest, and I think that's what they're doing, because this console generation that's out now, the development cycles are far too expensive for Capcom to be fucking up like they did with the last generation of consoles. So they're making some bank, and they're seeing what the reactions and the interest to certain properties are going to be. I think that, to me, that just seems like what they are doing from a business perspective, and it makes sense. Hopefully, based on what happens, they make the right decisions and they put out the games that the fans of the franchises want. And I mean, it really wouldn't kill them to make another Mega Man game. A good Mega Man game. Okay, so what I was saying earlier about liking this level, except for this part. See if we can get that orb. Boo. There we go. But, you know, and I'd really like to see a continuation of this timeline, or this group of characters from the Devil May Cry series. As I've said, I don't really particularly care either way if Nero's in the next game. I think, given us all these playable characters in this special edition, they should probably take that to the next level in Devil May Cry 5 and flesh out a campaign for each character, especially now. You got the storage capacity since both consoles are using Blu-ray discs. Have like 10 Dante missions, 10 Trish missions, 10 Lady missions, you know. And don't have it where you play as one character for 10 missions and then switch to the other character for 10 missions. Have them either have their own, like you pick the character from the get-go and you work through their part of the campaign, and I hate to say this, kind of like Resident Evil 6, or have it interwoven. Which that'd be, I don't know, having it interwoven would probably be too confusing, because you'd use one character for a mission or two, then switch to a different character, and that's not I don't think that's good either. So probably separate campaigns would be the best way to go. But, you know, we'll see what they do. Capcom's got a lot to make up for. They've kind of burned a lot of people last generation with the way they handled DLC and how it was always on the disc when it came out, you know, Street Fighter Cross Tekken being the most notable example. That reminds me, what the hell ever happened with Tekken Cross Street Fighter? That just kind of like all news about that game has just kind of disappeared. 'Cause they supposedly started development at the same time, I thought, but the only one that ever came out was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then nothing ever happened with the other one. Whatever. I'm not a huge Tekken fan. I've tried giving the series a shot. I just didn't care for it. Kind of felt slow to me. I don't know. But anyways, and yeah, man, I know this would never happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing Capcom make up with Hideki Kamiya, but chances are that's not gonna happen. I know he recently slammed Keiji Inafune pretty hard on Twitter, calling the Mighty Number 9 an insult to Capcom and everything like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing him return to the Devil May Cry universe. But I mean, the only game he had any input on was the first game, but Bayonetta, you know, both Bayonetta games were fucking awesome, and I think he could, but I don't know necessarily if it would be a step forward or not. Suno seems to be pretty capable of leading the franchise as long as he's given a budget and the time to have the game developed properly, you know, but we'll see. I don't want to speculate too much because we might not ever get another Devil May Cry game, even though they apparently teased the fuck out of everybody at the end with see you next Devil May Cry. But really, I mean, if they just take out things like this stupid gyro blade thing, annoys me a little bit. But hell, man, they could even make a budget game based off of the anime. Just use, I mean, they have basically the general assets in the end. They just use the character models from this one. Maybe update Dante a little bit, make him look how he looked in the anime. And, I mean, fuck, the anime is even basically laid out like levels in a game would be, but I don't know, I just playing this game has brought back my desire to see the series go forward, and, you know, it just... It just bugs me because there's so much potential here, and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed gets a fucking game every goddamn year. Ooh, I forgot about this part. Nope. Hopefully she doesn't go ahead and destroy the section of the bridge I'm not on yet. It didn't turn out so bad. See how this works for us. Didn't work bad. If you're within range, the shotgun stinger seems to be pretty powerful. Oh, you can't buy anymore. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't think we have a boss fight yet. Oh, yeah, we do. Let's see how this goes. This might not be a good idea. It might miss. Oh, nope, it hit. Cool. No. Ah. Oh. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, she moves a little too fast when she's doing that to try to hit her with a charge shot from Killian. Not running. Whoa. Oh shit. I really need to get that grappling hook extension. The grenade cluster that she throws out doesn't seem to be as powerful as a Devil Trigger or anything like that. But I mean, it helps out in a pinch sometimes. I mean, there's that. When you actually make contact with whatever you're trying to hit with it. Alright, that's that. I think that's the end of the mission once we go through here. So, we're going to wrap this video up here, and like always guys, I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, have a good one.